2025. Roll call, please. Mr. Pacetto?
Here.
Ms. Alcorn?
Here.
Ms. Grzaniak?
Here.
Ms. Taliani?
Here.
Ms. Murbaugh?
Here.
Mr. Ferrari?
Here.
At this time, I need a motion to appoint Mrs. Taliani as Secretary Pro Tem.
So moved. Second.
Oh, my turn. Mr. Ferrari?
Yes.
Mr. Murbaugh?
Yes.
Mrs. Taliani?
Yes.
Mr. Pacetto?
Yes.
Mrs. Alcorn?
Yes.
Mrs. Krzaniak?
Yes.
Mr. Sarver?
Yes. Please stand for Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome. At this time, I'd like the members of the Board of Education to look over the minutes of the regular meeting for September 24th, 2025, and the special meeting minutes for October 13th, 2025. There's no additions or corrections. I need a motion of approval.
I make the motion.
Second.
Mrs. Krzaniak?
Yes.
Mr. Pacetto?
Yes.
Mrs. Alcorn?
Yes.
Mr. Murbaugh?
Yes.
Mrs. Taliani? Yes. Mr. Ferrari?
Yes.
Mr. Sarver?
Yes. Tonight, under recognitions and comments from visitors, Diverse Division Spotlight, we have our Science Division, Mr. Dan Burkhart, who is our Division Chair. Mr. Burkhart.
Thank you, everybody, for having me here tonight. It's a pleasure. I'd like to give you just a brief overview of the science department on the different curriculum and courses that we have offered and some of the items that we cover in the classes. As you can see, we do pride ourselves in offering a wide variety of science courses: anatomy, biology, forensics, chemistry, earth science, physics, and the most recent addition was sports medicine. In these classes, we'd like to I always forgot about this part. Our new teacher spotlight. We recently were able to acquire two new teachers. Mr. Glenn Hall was currently teaching biology for us. And a lovely addition was Mrs. Gina Martin, which many of you probably already know. She took over from Mrs. Navarro, taking on a part-time role for our sports medicine program. Kids are loving both their current programs and what they're doing right now. We're really super happy to have them on board. In chemistry, some of the things you might see are just chemical reactions, precipitate labs. We'll be leading up to that. This was actually from last year. We're currently finishing up the math conversions and some of the previous foundation work right now, which will lead us to the chemical reactions. This is where they actually mixed a couple of different liquids together, produced a solid out there and a change in color, which are two signs of chemical reactions and different types of items you'll see in the chemistry lab. We also move on to some of the more cooler things, as the kids will say, which we do some metal reactivity labs, where we use some of the more reactive metals on the left-hand side and start with the dangerous acids, of course, highly diluted, so they're a little bit safer for them and following all proper safety protocols. And they get to see the production of gases and other things, and they get to make the nice little whistling noise when they light up the hydrogen gas that's made by some of the reactions that they see. One of the bigger ones on the right is the actual Pringle can, showing that one actually shooting up and popping up off the table briefly, just a couple feet on there. The biggest thing is it makes a nice loud bang and it gets them pretty much attentive after that right there. We have a newly I'd say not new, but new to us this year because we didn't have enough enrollment last year's AP Chemistry, so we brought that back, which is a awesome thing to be able to offer the kids. In this case, they're doing a distillation and conductivity lab where they set up an actual solution of salt water, use the distillation process to turn it into actual pure water, proving that it was conductive before because of the dissolved solids, and now that it's not conductive because it's pure water in there. So the myth of, is water conductive? No, but we don't have that naturally in the world, so please get out of the water during lightning storms. Earth science we're working on the left is showing the actual flattening due to the rotation and the creation of our solar system through the nebula theory. On the right, you can see one of our students recreating some craters on the moon. We're currently in the astronomy unit at the beginning of the year. And then the second semester course, which is heavier in the geology side of it, the physical earth science side. They're actually taking different sized items like kidney beans, split peas, stuff like that, and doing vertical impacts versus angular impacts to see the different shapes and the formations, like the rays that are formed and the ejecta that they would call, that basically thrown out of the impact crater, measuring them and documenting them to see what the variations and how astronomers will actually look at, say, okay, this is how that impact occurred type thing. In Earth science also, of course, because we can't always go into outer space, we do a lot of research and presentations on telescopes, planets, and other objects. On the right, you'll see the recreation of what we call Kepler's laws, the elliptical orbits, and the math behind it as far as for rotational periods being equal based on time frames, and the speed increases and slowing down where you're at in your actual orbit. Moving on to physics on the left-hand side. Thank you again to the foundation. About a year ago or 2 years ago, we were actually able to purchase those items on the left. Those are actually what we call mini projectile launchers. They're more accurate devices that allow the kids to do the calculations of height, velocity, distance, based on angular data and other data that they have on the actual device. To make it fun for them as well, later on the right-hand side, you'll see that they actually get to make their own mini projectile launchers. So test their creativity and engineering skills to reproduce what they are studying on the left-hand side there. In biology, the always popular one is the barf bags, infamous barf bags, where they talk about photosynthesis, cellular respiration, and they basically do the yeast on the left in there and the sugar, and they see the transformation inside there. Just don't let it set too long. That's the best advice I always say there. Microscopes themselves, again, thank you again. This was about 3 years, I think, ago. The foundation was wonderful and gave us a great grant to update our technology there, allowing the students to have some newer equipment to do the investigation into the cells. You'll see that they use this also in AP biology, where they have to do some sketching as well, so we work on their artwork in there too, because they look at about a variety of 6 to 8 different items that they have to recreate, identify structures, and test it on later on from their practicums. The owl pellets, always bringing back the investigation in there in biology. That was a favorite for some of the students. As you can see, the top right, one of our family members looks super excited to be going through there. You always have to remind them it's coming out, it's regurgitated, it's like a hairball, so they're fine. Honors biology, some of the things: photosynthesis, cellular respiration, stomata, chloroplasts. Those are a couple things that were done under the microscope earlier on. Interactive labs, cell respiration as well. The fermentation of the root beer lab, I would have to refer back to Mrs. Deppenbach for the exact what they were doing in there, but I'm sure the kids loved it. Of course, they have a annual major project in honors biology that they have to perform. It's like a long, intensive study that they do with some self-choice in which avenue they want to go through for environmental science. Eventually, they do chromatography and photosynthesis. This was nice. I forgot to upload some of the pictures. I have to apologize to Mr. Popadinsky, because they do a chromatography activity, which is a little bit different. This one in biology, they actually use plant pigmentation. In AP chemistry, they did something very similar with using Kool-Aid of the different colors, flavors, to see the dissection of the colors there as well. Something new this year for Mrs. Deppenbach in AP biology was cell size and diffusion. You can see the agate on the left there in the pink, representing the different sizes of what was grown in there, and looking at the different cells on there as far as for what they're producing under the microscope again later on. Anatomy and physiology, of course, lab practicums that they prepare for, and they're a year-long thing. They want to make sure that they are well prepared to be able to execute all of what's expected of them in that process there. Of course, either you love it or you don't love it. It's the anatomy of the dissections from a variety of different things, from the big bones to the, unfortunately, the feline friends that some of our students are cat lovers or dog lovers. Either way, they manage to push on through. Forensic science, one of our favorites up there. Usually so popular, we usually restrict this to just seniors. Crime scene projects, again, all I hope is that I'm not one of the victims in the mock-ups that they do. I usually end up being one of them, as well as some of our other favorite teachers as well. They get to investigate, recreate facial structure, body structure. They're measuring their own structure on the right-hand side bottom there, to identify how could you identify the remains of some forensic victims, unfortunately. Of course, we always have guest speakers. Mrs. Olivero was in subbing one day, and then she was back the next day speaking in Mrs. Kochis' class just this past week. So we're glad to have all the resources that we have from our local community. Sports medicine, some updated pictures from this year. Again, Mrs. Martin she just jumped right in and filled the role that we needed on, is just flying with it. The kids love it. She's actually putting in a request, I believe, soon to try to get a trip up to North Central College to look at their program that they have up there. And the kids are currently working on their projects. They're picking a school of their choice and designing and building a sports physical therapy program for the school. So it's a bigger project that they have to work on and planning out and stuff. Again, that's one slide too early on that one. The sports semester project. They design the facility, create a budget, evaluate types of wounds, treatments, medical terminology, documentation, vital signs. So they have to all include how and what they would be able to diagnose with the facility that they're planning on designing. So it's pretty intense, and kids do a great job, and she's very thorough with making sure they explore all the sources that they need to. Thank you again. I promised them I'd be shorter than all of their presentations here, though. Mr. Hansen might give me a run for my money. He's got a pretty short one for you guys. But if you guys have any questions or you'd like to see more, just feel free to ask, and we can get some information back to you. Thank you again for all that you guys do. We really appreciate everything.
Thank you, Ms.
Thank you.
Burkhart. There's no public comment this evening. Under the President's report, just an update, quick update on the superintendent search. During a special board meeting on Monday, October 13th, Jim Helton from the IASB presented a list of candidates to the Board of Education. There were several applicants for the position. IASB recommended 5. The first round of interviews will be conducted starting this Tuesday, October 28th, and Wednesday, the 29th, and Thursday, October 30th. The second round of interviews will be conducted on Wednesday, November 5th. Wednesday, November 19th, which is our regular November board meeting, is set to hire a new superintendent, which will start officially on July 1, 2026. All right, are there any questions? Okay. Okay, under finance, 7-1, need approval of bills for LaSalle-Peru Township High School.
So moved. Second.
Mr. Murbaugh?
Yes.
Mr. Pacetto?
Yes.
Mrs. Alcorn?
Yes.
Mrs. Krasniak?
Yes.
Mr. Ferrari?
Yes.
Mrs. Taliani? Mr. Sarver?
Yes. I need a motion of approval for the bills for the LP Area Career Center.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Ferrari?
Yes.
Mrs. Alcorn?
Yes.
Mr. Pacetto?
Yes.
Mrs. Krasniak?
Yes.
Mr. Murbaugh?
Yes.
Mrs. Taliani? Yes. Mr. Sarver?
Yes. I need a motion of approval for the payroll report.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Murbaugh?
Yes.
Mrs. Krasniak?
Yes.
Mr. Pacetto?
Yes.
Mrs. Alcorn?
Yes.
Mr. Ferrari?
Yes.
Mrs. Taliani? Yes. Mr. Sarver?
Yes. 7.2, I need a motion of approval of the financial records as presented.
So moved. Second.
Mr. Murbaugh?
Yes.
Mr. Pacetto?
Yes.
Mrs. Alcorn?
Yes.
Mrs. Krasniak?
Yes.
Mr. Ferrari?
Yes.
Mrs. Taliani? Yes. Mr. Sarver?
Yes. Under correspondence, we have TIF reimbursements this month. Village of North Utica, TIF 1, third reimbursement distribution, $41,492.59. TIF 2, third reimbursement distribution, $14,415.33. State of LaSalle, the intergovernmental agreement, TIPS, $104,454.12. And the City of Oglesby, third installment, $5,484.12 for a total TIF reimbursement of $165,846.16. Board committee reports, Building and Grounds Committee, Mr. Ferrari.
Building and Grounds Committee met on Thursday, October 9th. The bid packets for the ag building were scheduled to go out on the 15th.
But they're out.
Was
Yep.
a week ago.
Mhm.
This Sip and Savor is currently on hold, looking to cancel the contract with the previous company and try to get someone to finish the project. The health occupations remodel is in good shape. It's practically done. They're just waiting for a December delivery on the updated hospital beds. As you can see when you came today, the Charter Street courtyard is well underway, just waiting for the erection of the light poles. And in November, the benches are supposed to arrive along with the matching trash cans. Roof repairs, the masonry work has been done, and they were preparing to move on to the east building. Recently, the Regional Office of Education did their HLS walkthrough. That was at the end of September, and the only ding we got was about the need to update some of the fire extinguishers. The lane striping on the track resurfacing project was scheduled to take place on October 10th, the day after we met. So I assume that's already been completed.
Yep,
So is it reopened?
it is.
Okay,
Yeah.
the track is now reopened to the public.
Yeah, it turned out great.
The dance studio floor project is ongoing. And if you checked your email recently, there was some pictures of some updated artwork out at the LP Sports Complex, the baseball fields, that was donated.
Mhm.
Food Service is working on obtaining an outside wood pellet operated grill for cooking some of the things like hamburgers and this and that.
We received the variance from the health department, and it's getting rave reviews.
Oh, it's already in
Yes,
operation?
already in operation now, yes.
All right, there we go. So head down to the cafeteria.
I don't know, the good burger.
No.
Little grilled burgers. And that was it for an update on all of the projects that are ongoing with Building and Grounds.
Thank you, Mr. Ferrari. Public Relations report will be given by Dr. Bleski.
Public Relations Committee met on Thursday, October 9th, and we had a number of updates. This is a committee that generally meets usually like once a year around this time of the year, and kind of look and set an agenda for communication. We had Mr. Baker shared this at his report last month, but we then provided just a hard copy again of the e-Cava letter. That's going to be a quarterly publication. The next release is going to be shortly after Thanksgiving, which will actually be really great timing because we'll be able to have some features on the school report card results. We'll have an update on the school goals, and we'll have more information too on that. Would follow the newly appointed superintendent as well. Provide an update on the ag building capital campaign. Our target is to reach 1.5 million in donations, and I've been having some conversations with Mr. Hinchke as a starting point. We're going to look to schedule an evening donor kickoff meeting, and so we'll probably expect that to be sometime next week. And then I'll make sure that the board has the dates for that as well, because I'd love to have some of you attend that. And then we looked at board coffees for the 25-26 school year, and The fourth quarter coffee, as we talked then, that would be another nice opportunity to be able to talk about the new superintendent. Actually, let me back up. The fourth quarter, we want to then use that as an opportunity to have the new superintendent here, but to be able to be in the ag building as a way of showcasing that. And so we identified some other areas around the community for the second and third quarter. And so I'll have more information out on that for dates. That's all I have, unless there are questions.
Thank you, Dr. Bolesky. Finance Committee, Ms. Murbaugh.
We met yesterday, and we're 25% of the way through the year, so we're a quarter of the way through the year. We have 41.52% of our revenues in for the year, and our expenditures are at 18.17%. This is the time of year, obviously, where revenues outpace expenses. It's the beginning part of the year with the taxes and whatnot. I will give, I think Dr. Robleski wants to give this news, but we talked about it.
You go. Yeah.
We did get our initial tax levy, and our levy, the preliminary estimate is it increased another 7.1% this year. I mean, that's just phenomenal. So they, he and Jen will work their magic and determine what we're going to do, and next month will be, we'll take an action on that at this level. So. We talked about the Howard Fellows Stadium relighting project, and we've got a proposal in there, and more to come on that, more to come down the road. Your pre-bid meeting for the ag building was today.
Today.
At 3 o'clock.
Great turnout.
I've got updates from Gary, because Gary met like 2 weeks before we met, so I have some updates with some things more than that. We also then discussed the upcoming 25, 26 debt certificates, general obligation bonds that are going to be issued, and went through the timeline of that. The issuance of that will be between 4 and 4.5 million. Again, we've already talked about this, but we just kind of recapped the timeline, when that's going out for issuance, and those factors. Talked briefly about an update on our bus contract, and then we went through the construction tracker, looking at all the different items and progress of all of them, and that was our meeting.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Murbaugh. Administrative reports. Superintendent's report, Dr. Bolesky.
Thank you, Mr. Sarver. I want to start first by celebrating. This is a celebration. It's actually going to be an action item when we get to new business, but this week is Principal Appreciation Week, and so it is a week to be able to celebrate our building administrators, and so it's a nice opportunity to be able to take a moment to recognize the hard work that Ingrid and members of her team put in on a day in and day out basis, and we're just very, very grateful and appreciative for the work that they do, and I know I certainly am very, very grateful. So I thank you all for the work that you do. And then we'll have a celebration on Friday, so there'll be some goodies for breakfast for everybody. It's going to continue our tradition. The school report card is released on October 31st, so Mrs. Christian and I will then have a presentation the following month, and we're continuing to partner with the ECRA group that will get the reports again on our percentile rankings as well as the comparison to comparable schools. And so we already received some preliminary information, in terms of where, as we've shared, our graduation rate and our decline in our chronic absenteeism. So we're very excited about that, but more importantly, how does that compare to some of the other area schools, around us? And so we'll have more to share on that. We had Jack Mulderman, our consultant for our PLCs, was here on Monday. I want to thank Ingrid and Kate Lance for facilitating that session with our department chairs. It was a full day workshop, and they established some targeted focus areas for second quarter, continue to keep a focus on our ACT preparation, as well as working on our test retakes. And so it's very exciting to see the work that's continuing to move forward on that. And then our audit report was supposed to be this month, but because of the federal government shutdown, that has implications, particularly on the federal grants reports that Mr. Newkirk has to compile as part of his ultimate report. So we're hopeful that we'll see him and his little helper in November. And then we had a one FOIA request this past month, and I have that listed there. And thank you to Walt in his office for helping us with that. And we responded to that FOIA request in the allowed time.
Okay.
So I have unless there are questions.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Bolesky. Principal's report, Mrs. Cushing.
Good evening. I have a kind of a lengthy report, but I'm just going to highlight 3 things that have been kind of big news and big deal in the building. We had parent-teacher conferences last week to wrap up our first quarter there. We were collecting data, and at this point, we were still missing a few teachers, which will have their information to me soon, and I'll get you those numbers at the next meeting. However, I would say we have had about 1,000 contacts, so we're right on track for where we have been previously. The other thing I wanted to highlight was that today we had Ted Wise here, or Wees, however, we've had a couple different variations of his name there, but he was an excellent speaker. He met with our Link Crew kids. They had a great time. Then they met with staff and did a lot of team building activities, so it was a really wonderful afternoon for our staff, and I think there was a lot of team building that they were happy about. The other thing I wanted to share with you is the Academic Success Program. I have a little bit of data on that. I explained some more about that in there, but there's 3 steps. The first 2 are the teachers are meeting with the students who have failures, and then once it gets to step 3 and they haven't completed that work, then it comes down to the office, and Ms. Lance meets with students. What I would really like to highlight, though, is that we have had 52 of those get to the step 3 on their grades, but 75% of those kids have come in for their assigned time and have completed their work. So that leads me to that next piece when we're working on our SMART goals. We have had the highest rate that I have seen in my time here. We have 95.23% of our courses being passed right now, which is incredible. I know certainly that last year we were in the low 90s, so it's even a large improvement from there. So I think the program is working. We've been working out sort of all the logistics for a school-wide implementation there, but it is certainly is helping our students. So I definitely wanted to highlight all of our staff working together on that and provide data. Does anyone have any questions for me on my report?
No. Thank you, Mrs. Cushing. Athletic Director's report, Mr. Hanson.
Good evening. A lot going on in athletics. We're winding down the fall here, but today we had a state send-off here for our 2 tennis players going to the state tournament tomorrow. So Dagny Greer and Julia Garcia will be competing tomorrow morning at Prospect High School. Hopefully it's a little warmer than today.
Less wind, I hope.
Pretty tough, but we'll be up there watching them tomorrow, and hopefully they have a good day. But Saturday, our soccer team's playing for the regional championship, so 11 a.m. at Ottawa against Kankakee. So it's a big step. They've had a really, really good year, and there's a positive step for our program. Volleyball plays for the conference championship tomorrow night at Caneland, so if they win, they at least share the conference championship with Morris. If Morris loses tomorrow and we win, we'd be the outright winner. So good for them. Then they start regionals next Monday at Galesburg. So not right around the corner. Friday night is senior night for football, so we'll be highlighting the band, Cavalettes, cheer, our student trainers, and also the football team before the game. The game is varsity only because we're playing O'Fallon. Starts at 6:30, so senior night would start at 5:30. Should be a busy night, but a fun night. The last thing I have is our marching band wraps up their fall season. They've had a great fall season, but they're at Western Illinois this week at 7 p.m. Hopefully bring home the championship again for the 2nd year in a row. So that's it for me.
All right.
Unless you have any questions.
Thank you, Mr. Hanson. Director of your Career Center, Dr. Lang.
Hello. Most of things that employers are looking for with our students, they want professional work skills. And the things that I'm going to highlight tonight are some opportunities that students have had to learn some of those skills. So we sent around 50 students from manufacturing and welding to the Manufacturing Expo at IVCC and then a local employer, and then another 33 LP students. So the LP students that were not at the Area Career Center, they ended up going to Vactor and Streeter, and then the LP students that were involved in the Area Career Center in those two programs went to HCC in Mendoza. So the Manufacturing Expo, they get to spend some time at the manufacturer, see what they do at the manufacturing facility. They get to ask them some questions. The manufacturer usually ask them some. And then when they go to IVCC later, they get to tour around the different programs. So there were 3 rotations. They ended up going to the Peter Miller Technology Center and then East Campus yesterday. So they got to see all those different programs in the Career and Tech. So that was a pretty good experience for them. The culinary program, every year they host a principal and administrator breakfast, and that happened today. And I can tell you what, that was an amazing breakfast. I don't think anybody left hungry.
No.
I didn't eat lunch afterwards. It was significant, and they did a really great job. The students were the ones that came up with the menu, and then Lori Turgeon, with her guidance, they managed the day, they catered it, and they were very, very professional while we were in there. So service and managing the whole project. The fire science students, they went to Waltham Elementary School to demonstrate for Fire Prevention Week. So they went there, they talked to them about, stop, drop, and roll and that kind of stuff, but then also the importance of having a family safety escape plan and the use of fire extinguishers and that kind of stuff. So they got to interact with the younger students and talk to them about what they have learned. And the last thing, I've kind of mentioned this a little bit, the ACC maintenance grant, we did send that in, so it's been submitted. So we're waiting to hear back on that, and that will be for second floor project of the Dolan building, which would include fit and finish on the 2 upstairs restrooms, the rest of the hallway flooring, which most likely will include some asbestos abatement from the glue, and then hopefully adding a preschool bathroom adjacent to the women's room upstairs so that the preschoolers don't have to intermingle with the high schoolers in the restroom. So that's all I have. Anybody have any questions?
Thank you, Dr. Lang.
Thank you.
Director of Communications, Mr. Baker.
Good evening, everyone. If everything stays busy in the communication office, just to update just a little bit about how great it has been this year to have those student assistants in the offices. Can't say enough about those Whitehall kids and all the extra stuff we've been able to do because we have them, and they're just responsible. Even if I'm not around, they come in, they get to work. It's really been impressive to see. So I'm glad we got as we talk about things for the future, to keep programs like that going. It's really been good opportunities for students and for us. She had to step out, but I was going to give a little public shout out to Mrs. Doe's, who's a big help. We've been struggling with sick kids at the Baker House the past few weeks, and she was able to step in and help out with the live streaming the fall choral concert last week. So we haven't really dropped anything, even if we haven't all been all hands on deck all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And then, as Mr. Burkhart referenced a couple of times in his presentation with the science department about how beneficial those LP Foundation grants are to their department, one of the pieces of news coming out of the foundation is they just awarded their fall grants last week, going to 4 different areas, but those are science, special ed, family consumer sciences, and the yearbook. So putting some money back in the classroom. So that's all those programs that you hear about the foundation doing. That's how it's starting to pay off for faculty and staff. And then also they're moving forward on the process of having that part-time grant writer. They'll be able to help really target some important renovation projects in the auditorium. So those are all things to look forward to in the coming year. And that's all, unless you have any questions.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Baker. Under new business, 11.1, an emotional approval to adopt Governor Pritzker's proclamation declaring October 19th through the 25th, 2025 as Principals Appreciation Day on Friday, October 24th, 2025.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Ferrari?
Yes.
Mr. Pacetto?
Yes.
Mrs. Alcorn?
Yes.
Mrs. Krasniak?
Yes.
Mr. Murbaugh?
Yes.
Mrs. Taliani? Yes. Mr. Sarver?
Yes. I don't do 12.
Just we're tabling it.
12-2 will be tabled. 11-3, excuse me, 11-2 will be tabled. 11-3, need a motion of approval for following appointments as presented.
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Murbaugh?
Yes.
Mrs. Alcorn?
Yes.
Mr. Pacetto?
Yes.
Mrs. Krasniak?
Yes.
Mr. Ferrari?
Yes.
Mrs. Taliani? Yes. Mr. Sarver?
Yes. 11.4, need a motion of approval for the LP Crunching Calves Youth Wrestling Program. Request to host the annual Crunching Calves Classic Tournament at LP High School on Sunday, January 25th, 2026.
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Pacetto?
Yes.
Mrs. Krasniak?
Yes.
Mrs. Alcorn?
Yes.
Mr. Murbaugh?
Yes.
Mr. Ferrari?
Yes.
Mrs. Taliani? Yes. Mr. Sarver?
Yes. I need a motion of approval to go into executive closed session for the purpose of A, discussion of the minutes of meetings lawfully closed under the Opens Meeting Act, whether for the purpose of approval of the body of the minutes or semi-review of the minutes. B, collective negotiations matters between the public body and its employees or their representatives, or deliberations concerning salary schedules for one or more class of employees with open session and possible action items follow.
So moved.
Second.
Mrs. Alcorn?
Yes.
Mr. Pacetto?
Yes.
Mrs. Krasniak?
Yes.
Mr. Murbaugh?
Yes.
Mr. Ferrari?
Yes.
Mrs. Taliani? Yes. Mr. Sarver?
Yes.